Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk a little bit more about The Walking Dead Season 11 and the final season, how it's ending. And today I want to talk a little bit about some of these cast reactions and then talk about them and just talk about the finale in general. As well, we got some people like Chandler Riggs and Kari Payton and Norman Reedus all responding to the show ending, as well as Angela Kang and Scott M. Gimple. They also responded in statements released by AMC. So we're going to go ahead and talk about these in this video today. With that being said, let's get into it. So yeah, The Walking Dead is ending. Quite shocking to say the least. Getting into this statement from AMC, we have Scott M. Gimple and then also Ed Carroll, who's a chief operating officer at AMC. We're going to go ahead and read their statements concerning the show. So Scott Gimple said, "It's been 10 years gone by. What lies ahead are 2 more to come and stories to tell beyond that." So first of all, I love the way he phrased that sentence, gone by, and then what lies ahead. Very Walking Dead-esque. But anyways, moving on, he says, "What's clear is that this show has been about the living, made by a passionate cast team of writers/producers, producers and crew, bringing to life the vision put forth by Robert Kirkman and his brilliant comic, and supported by the best fans in the world. We have a lot of thrilling story left to tell on The Walking Dead, and then this end will be the beginning of more Walking Dead, brand new stories and characters, familiar faces and places, new voices and new mythologies. This will be a grand finale that will lead to new premieres. Evolution is upon us. The Walking Dead lives." So there you go. He says it. I think he said it really well. Like this, this show, this main show that started in 2010. I think this show deserves a really good bookend. Obviously, the show has become so big. I mean, the franchise has become so big. Now they can do other spin-offs, so that's definitely possible. So I don't think it's a big deal to end this main show, and like he says here, this will be the grand finale that leads to new premieres. And I think, again, that's what I've been saying in the past, that I would like to see this main show have a bookend. I didn't expect it to be happening this soon. Like, I thought it would have been like probably season 12 or 13, especially since the show has gone better. But again, the point is, they wanted a bookend for this main show, and that's what it looks like they're going to be doing, with the franchise obviously continuing. Angela Kang goes on to say, "I look forward to digging in with our brilliant writers, producers, directors, cast, and crew to bring this epic final chapter of Robert Kirkman's story to life for our fans over the next 2 years. The Walking Dead flagship series has been my creative home for a decade, and so it's bittersweet to bring it to an end, but I could not be more excited to be working with Scott Gimple and AMC to develop a new series for Daryl and Carol. Working with Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride has been a highlight of my career, and I'm thrilled that we get to keep telling stories together." So yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah, Angela Kang has been a writer on this show for very long, and now she's become showrunner, and now she's going to be showrunner for this new series with Daryl and Carol. Now that series has already been confirmed, I believe, from AMC. The other series they're working on are in development, but this Daryl and Carol series looks to be 100% confirmed. And Angela Kang will be the showrunner for that one. I'm very excited. But yeah, this epic final chapter that's going to be told over the next 2 years. So season 11, remember, it's going to be an extended season. It's going to be 24 episodes, so technically an extra half season. So I don't know how they're going to split it up, if they're going to do like they usually do, 8 episodes, 2-month break, 8 episodes, 2-month break, 8 episodes, 2-month break, or what are they going to do? But very excited, to say the least, about this new series. Yeah, I mean, these 2 main characters are the main characters. Yeah, they probably are going to be the 2 main characters left. They're the 2 biggest characters left, from season 1. So, even with the show ending, I think these 2 getting a spin-off is pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how the show ends for the rest of the characters, and, what moves forward. If it's just Daryl and Carol, or are there other characters going to go with them? What's going to happen? I'm pretty excited to find out. And then again, we have that statement from Ed Carroll, who said this: "The Walking Dead made television history and is one of those rare creative works that has given life to an entire content universe that is still in the early stages of growing and entertaining both new and established fans," said Ed Carroll, Chief Operating Officer of AMC Networks. We can't wait to bring viewers this expanded final season of The Walking Dead over the next 2 years and launch the 4th series in the history of the franchise, focused on the beloved Daryl and Carol characters with the incredibly talented Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, Angela Kang, and Scott M. Gimple. There's so much walking ahead in a number of very exciting directions for this extraordinary creative universe we call The Walking Dead. So there you go. This show has become so huge that it's created a franchise and opened the doors to so many other spin-offs and shows. And that's why I think it's like a bittersweet ending that this show is ending. Because even though it's ending, we have these other spin-offs and other Walking Dead properties that Walking Dead fans can watch. So, again, I think I'm very excited to see the final season and, seeing the future of The Walking Dead and how it's going to expand. All right, and then speaking of Norman Reedus, let's go ahead and talk about what he said. So this comes from The Hollywood Reporter. So when they were talking about, the new show and everything, this is what he said in a statement. He said, this show changed my life and career, and everyone involved has truly been a family for me over the last decade. I'm thankful for AMC's love and support, and know there's so much more story to tell and so much more to bring to best fans in the world, Reedus said. Daryl's relationship with Carol has always been my favorite relationship on the show. Sorry, Rick. I love the way these characters interact and relate to each other on so many levels, and can't wait to see where the ride goes from there. So great statement there. And literally at the end there, when he says that where the ride goes from here, I think, literally I think that Daryl and Carol might actually get on Daryl's bike and just ride off. Because remember, when Carol came back from that boating thing, her and Daryl were talking about, right before the Whispers came on the show, they were talking about we're just doing the same thing over and over again, dealing with these people, these human villains. Maybe we should go and explore new places or something along those lines. So I think that was more than just them talking, which is really awesome in hindsight. You look back at that because, it makes you really want to pay attention to everything. And that's really how the show has become better, in my opinion, because there's not even a wasted line in the show. Like, even that conversation, yeah, they were getting along in that conversation and they didn't end up going. But now we learn, over a year later, that line or those scenes actually had a really deeper meaning, and those two are actually probably going to leave, and now they have their own spin-off, which is kind of mind-blowing to think about. So it's really cool. So yeah, again, I'm very excited for this Daryl and Carol spin-off. To see what is it going to be about? Is it going to be about them going to find Rick? Is it going to be just them going exploring new places? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm very, very excited to find that out. But next, getting into some Twitter stuff. So some of the casting crew. Kari Payton, who plays King Ezekiel, he just tweeted a very simple tweet. He just said, "All good things." Obviously referring to saying all good things must come to an end. He tweeted that around the time they announced The Walking Dead ending. And yeah, he's right. All good things must come to an end, I think. I think it's in a way a good thing instead of, continuing. Because right now the show has back up, it was really good and then it was sort of declining and now it's back up. And I think it's best to end when it's strong, right? Instead of, just waiting until it declines again in quality and ratings. I think it's best to end it when it's doing pretty well. And, story-wise, I think it makes sense with the Commonwealth, being the last, group. But the point is, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm not upset that the show is ending by any means. We're getting spin-offs and other stuff like that. And honestly, I would rather see this main show that's been going on for 11 years have a good end. And then moving on, we got Chandler Riggs here. He tweeted as well saying, truly the end of a legendary era in television. I was the biggest fan of the show while I was on it and will continue to watch until the very end. And so very excited to see how it closes. So yeah, he's absolutely right. This is a big end, to a legendary era in television, because at one point The Walking Dead, even today, it's still one of the highest rated shows on TV right now, but at one point The Walking Dead was the highest rated television show in television history. It's really, insane. This is the biggest show of all time, and it's finally coming to an end. So yeah, it is truly a legendary an end to a legendary era in television. And yeah, like he says, I'm excited to see how the show ends. For Chandler Riggs, who played Carl, in the comics, Carl is there until the end, really. So it's going to be interesting to see how the show ends. Is it going to be based on a Judith thing? Is it going to be like a big time jump at the end and Judith is going to be grown? Because I don't know. The thing that's confusing is that with this new spinoff with Daryl and Carol, they're just calling it a Daryl and Carol spinoff. They didn't say anything about is it going to include other characters, right? I don't think, it might, because even if there are other characters included, I don't think they would call it like a Daryl and Carol and Ezekiel and Judith and RJ spinoff, right? They would just call it like a Daryl and Carol spinoff. So I'm not saying like no other characters could be in it. But I wouldn't bet on it, because I think those two, since they had that conversation about them being together and leaving, I think those two are going to be the only ones leaving, and I think everyone else will have like an end to the show. Hopefully a happy ending. Why would they do a sad ending? Because like Scott Gimple said earlier, the show has been about the characters. So even if the world isn't, having a happy ending, at least the characters will, and I think that's what they're going to do. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this and how do you think it's going to end. So yeah, those are some of the tweets and reactions to The Walking Dead ending. Obviously with social media, I'm sure there's a lot of other people on The Walking Dead cast and crew that responded. So I probably missed some, so let me know if I did. But these are just some of the ones that popped up in my feed that I want to talk about. But again, let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. I just wanted to talk about some of these reactions and talk more about the finale and see how you guys are feeling about it. Let me know in the comments down below, again, all your thoughts and opinions about the show ending, the spin-off. How do you think it's going to end, and what do you think is going to happen in the spin-off? With that being said, I am going to wrap it up there, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like, rating, and for more Walking Dead videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.